Good evening, and welcome to tonight's episode of Miami Advice. I'm Sonny Crockett, and I'll be here answering all of your most pressing questions. For those of you who aren't in Miami this evening, it's a balmy 78 degrees, clear skies as far as the eye can see. It's beautiful out there, but trust me, there's no place I'd rather be than here with you. So let's go ahead and start with some of the questions you all have sent in. We'll see if we can't lend a hand. Our first question comes from Jeff, and he's looking for a new suit. Jeff asks, Sonny, I'm looking to get some sharp new looks for myself. I'm wanting to add a suit, and I've been trying to decide between Armani and Brooks Brothers. The Armani is fantastic, but Brooks Brothers is, of course, more reasonably priced. Which do you think I should go with? Well, Jeff, let me tell you something. You can't go wrong with Armani. Sure, it's going to be more expensive, but it'll be worth every penny. I guarantee it. So go for it, Jeff. Tell us how it works out. Alright. This next question comes from Carlos, who's up in Tallahassee. And it seems like he's in the market for a sailboat. Wanting to know whether he should go with a larger option, the 3 sails, the motor, and all the features, or maybe just keep it simpler. Something a little bit smaller, a little easier to crew with fewer people. Well, let me tell you, Carlos, you're barking up the wrong tree. You don't want a sailboat. You don't want to dink around all day on the water, hardly getting anywhere. You want something that'll really impress and get you where you're going in a hurry. My friend, you want a nice, long, sleek power boat. Maybe a 38-footer, one with a couple of 600 horsepower engines slapped in there. Something that'll absolutely fly along the water like a frickin' jet plane. So, get rid of those sailboat brochures and go ahead and put yourself in the market for some serious horsepower, Carlos. Trust me, it's going to be the right direction for you to go. Okay. Now, this next letter is pretty intriguing. Tell you, it sounds like a bit of a hot lead if you ask me. Comes from Slim Freddy, in quotes. And he tells me that he's got 4 keys of the purest white that he is looking to move. And do I know of someone who might be able to help him out with that? Well, let me tell you, you are talking to the right guy, pal. I am just the man to help you move that product. I'll tell you what, I get off the show here about 11 o'clock tonight. Let's say we meet up down on Pier 45, right about midnight. I'll bring my business partner and a little bit of the green. We can make this handoff, and I will make sure that product gets distributed. Got connections to all the best people. You will not regret this trade. So, I will plan to see you later this evening. It'll be a pleasure to do business with you. Now, for those of you who aren't necessarily tapped into all the latest goings-on, keys, which he referenced in his letter, actually refers to kilograms. That's the weight of product that he wants to move. In this case, I think he's talking about cocaine, but I don't want to say too much more on the air. So, let's go ahead and move on to our next question. And this comes from Cynthia, who's actually all the way out in Los Angeles. Cynthia says, "Dear Sonny, got some bad news. I've recently come to the States, and I met a fine man, so I thought, and I agreed to become his wife, and we were married just a year ago. Unfortunately, he mistreats me. It's a really bad situation, and I'm scared. What can I do? He's been good to me in a lot of ways, but I'm scared, and I don't want to be treated this way anymore." Well, Cynthia, I'm really sorry to hear about that. That sounds like a terrible situation, a very difficult one. I don't want anyone to have to go through anything like that. But let me tell you something. Cynthia, this is America, the land of freedom. Cast that chump loose. Go out there and be free. I know it won't be easy to do, but it's the right thing to do. Get yourself out of that situation. And definitely write back and tell me how you're doing. Okay. Let's take a look at another letter here, which comes to us from Tommy. And Tommy asks this: "Sonny, I'm doing well financially. Been trading on the markets. I'm feeling pretty high on life. Looking to get a car, something that'll impress the ladies. Which do you think they'll like better? The Ferrari or the Lamborghini?" Tommy, let me tell you something. You're going about this completely the wrong way. It's not about the car that you drive. Sure, cars are nice. No one's going to argue with that. But if you're wondering which car you're going to choose to see if a lady will like you, then you're already behind the curve here. It's all about your personality, your ability to relate to them, provide something interesting more than just a car. Because look, I'm going to break it to you. Anyone with money can buy nice cars. I own a nice car. I know lots of people own nice cars. Not all of those people are nice people. So here's what you gotta do. You take her out to dinner. Have good conversation. Listen to what she's saying. Engage with what she's saying. Get to know her. Let her get to know you. Give her the real you. Then you take her outside. There's the car. And it's, just putting the cherry on top of a fine evening. Right? Don't rely on that car. But seriously, make it a Ferrari. My producer has just handed me a new letter. It's marked urgent. He felt it's something I should look at. It says, "Dear Sonny, let me give you a little bit of advice." Advice is in quote marks. "You stay away from Mrs. Sampson if you know what's good for you." It's not signed. Well, listen, Anonymous. I'll probably forget that advice. Let's move on to our next letter, which I think will be a little more interesting for all of our listeners out there. This letter comes from Deborah, and she asked, "Sonny, I've been feeling a lot of stress in my life recently. Things are really getting to me, and I haven't been able to really relax. What do you recommend as a good way to get rid of all the stress?" Well, let me tell you, Deborah, here's what I would do. And I think this is going to work for you. What you need to do is go to the beach. Nice white sand beach. In the evening, just before the sun sets. Lay out a blanket, maybe build a little fire. Bring a bottle of wine, pour yourself a glass. sit down, watch that sun sink down towards the water, have a sip of wine, listen to the sounds, the ocean, the waves crashing in on the beach, that fiery orb sinking down into that dark sea. Just let it all go, flowing away from you like the tide back into the ocean. Just sit there on that beach, the dark, little crackling fire, those soothing sounds of the ocean. I think you'll find that all your stresses will just slip away. Give yourself a little break like that. It'll pay off, I guarantee it. Alright. So, Deborah, go find that beach. Let that stress off. We'll take our next letter here, which comes from Stephen. He's up in New York City. Stephen says, this is another fashion question that we're taking, that Stephen says he's got a great look for himself. He's been working on his image. He's got a slick suit. He's got these loafers. He's a cool guy up with the times. He wears them without socks. That looks really sharp. But he's headed off to this party. It's, a pretty nice affair, and he's not sure if the no socks look is appropriate. Well, let me tell you something. You can wear anything as long as you're confident about it. Doesn't matter where you're going, who's going to be there, what occasion. If you're confident in it, and you know that you belong in what you're wearing, it's going to work for you. And it's going to work for other people too. You think when Pablo Escobar goes to a party, he's worried about whether he should have socks on or not? Of course not. He's going, he's dressed in the way he wants to dress, he's going to look amazing, and everyone's going to look and say, that man, that's a powerful man. That man doesn't look to anyone else for approval or for what he's supposed to wear. You can be that. It's the same. You think when President Reagan orders a pizza that he has to put on a suit to see the delivery guy? No. He keeps on his pajamas because he knows where he's at in the world. Alright? Figure out where you're at. You're confident. You can wear anything you want. And I think you can do this. But if you're feeling unsure, go ahead. Put on the socks. Wear what everyone else is wearing. The point is, you gotta believe in it. Like everything. You believe in yourself, all the other stuff will follow. So, that's my recommendation to you. You can always write me back. Let me know how it goes. Alright. Well, those were some really great questions that we got from everyone here tonight. I love it when you write in. Looking forward to hearing more questions from all of you. So send them on in. I'll be back with more answers from Sonny on Miami Advice. Have a good night.